Is there a new investigation into the government's handling of UAP? We've got that and a lot more to talk about. It's time for another UFO News Roundup, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you think in the comments below. Okay, let's just get right to it. News: a sweeping criminal investigation into the USG's handling of UAP may be underway. On F521, IG announces evaluation. On 623, Black Vault's 5 most recent UAP-related FOIA requests were denied, citing possible interference with law enforcement investigations or prosecutions. Very interesting. So yeah, definitely hinting that there is some investigation going on. The IG conveniently left the word investigation off of his reply letter to Tim Burchett and Anna Polina Luna Moskowitz and others when they were trying to get the skiff with David Grush. So yeah, so there does seem to be an investigation going on. I believe Ross Coulthart also talked about that, and so this is further confirmation of that. Inspector General memorandum for distribution. We plan to begin the subject evaluation on May 2021. The objective of this evaluation is to determine the extent to which the DoD has taken actions regarding UAP. We may revise the objective as the evaluation proceeds, and we will consider suggestions from management for additional revised objectives. We'll perform the evaluation at the offices, yada, yada, yada. So, yeah, very interesting. That's from Robert Randolph R. Stone, Assistant Inspector General for Evaluations, Space Intelligence, Engineering, and Oversight. Very interesting, guys. So, yeah, the Inspector General is seemingly investigating UFOs, or at least the government's response to UFOs. And I'm thinking, in particular of the retaliation against David Grush and others, since that is what sparked all this, right? So, but maybe that will lead down even more rabbit holes. I sure hope so. The IG is not transparent at all. I wish they were, but at least they seem to be somewhat neutral on this. They did allow David Grush's information to come out, at least. They didn't try to cover it up or block him from speaking. So, but they're also not super transparent, and they're not seemingly like a huge advocate of UFO disclosure, or, at least that is, what we can see from the outside. Maybe they're huge advocates of disclosure, and they are allowing what they can. So, so there you go. The IG is investigating this stuff, and here's further confirmation that that is the case. Another news, a few weeks ago, early October 2nd, 2 more BASP OSAP documents emerge. This is really interesting. The documents themselves aren't that interesting, I'll be honest, and I'm not even going to go over them. I've gone over them, but they're really not that exciting. I have acquired 2 additional BASP OSAP documents, which are not listed in the Lakatsky et al. Appendix. 1 Capella Data Warehouse, Pilots Database Completion Survey, 2 Canada Database Information. And yes, I'll link to this, and you can go through the documents themselves, but it's really encouraging to see that more BASP stuff is coming out, more OSAP stuff is coming out. If you don't know OSAP, it's the precursor program to ATIP, maybe even a parallel program, or ATIP emerged out of OSAP one way or another. And OSAP was the government's program that was, I think they got $22 million in funding. In the New York Times article, it was incorrectly attributed to ATIP. They were saying that ATIP received that funding. They may have received some funding, but it was OSAP that received the $22 million over the course of a couple of years, I think. But yeah, they investigated Skinwalker Ranch in addition to other stuff. And there has been a lid of secrecy over a lot of what they studied, and very encouraged that more documents, not super interesting documents, but some documents are coming out. and I can't wait to see more. If you've followed the TV show The Secret of Skinwalker Ranch, you'll see there's hints that the Bigelow team, BASS, may have been doing some stuff there that, maybe covering up caves and stuff. We don't really know. But, there do seem to be some secrets there that maybe the Bigelow team knows and was working with, and that they just can't reveal for whatever reason, or won't reveal for whatever reason. So as much as I love Bob Bigelow, I would love this secrecy to end and for us to figure out what BASS and OSAP were doing there. If it was something particularly juicy and important to the study of that place and of the phenomenon in general, I think we need to know. But let me know what you guys think in the comments below. And here are some thoughts from Eric Burleson on the David Grush Light skiff that he and other Congress people were treated to, last week. So, we've heard comments from Burchett and Luna and others about what they saw. Well, those guys were on board the UFO train. Eric Burleson is not. So let's find out from his comments if he was persuaded by anything that he saw at that skiff to change his opinion. Asked if some degree of answers were provided based on what was alleged, Burleson replied, "Some degree, and it's really frustrating because I can't say what was said, but I'll just say my viewpoint about the UAP phenomenon has not changed. My worldview of what we're seeing, what we're experiencing, is that it's likely U.S. experimental, whether it's from the private sector or being done through a black operation within the DoD or energy." Yeah, and the Department of Energy comes up a lot in this. They seem to be a big player in all of this. Jacques Vallée has talked about that in the Lance Corporal Weigand case that happened in Peru, I think in the 90s. When he came across that UFO, he was arrested by people that he believes were, they were outright wearing Department of Energy emblems. U.S. Department of Energy in Peru trying to cover up UFO stuff and working with UFO stuff. Performing crash retrievals, etc. So, so they're a huge part of this, so that wouldn't surprise me at all. He also commented, Burleson, I'll just say this: UFOs are not keeping me up at night. They weren't before, and after this meeting, they weren't. They aren't now. I told a constituent that what keeps me up at night is the national debt, the war in Ukraine, the war in Israel, and the potential for World War III. And so there's nothing that shattered my worldview today. Well, then that was a failure of the skiff. That's all I can say, because if the David Grush information was presented in full, even just what we know, I'm sure there's a lot of stuff we don't know, but if what he has revealed in Congress and to Ross Coulthart about there being alien bodies, alien ships, UFO crash retrievals and reverse engineering, surely that would have shattered the worldview of a skeptic. So yeah, there's going to be at least one more skiff. Tim Burchett doesn't seem optimistic on the whole skiff thing anymore, but hopefully they can actually get David in a skiff with these guys, and everybody can get the clearances they need. But that's assuming that they can overcome the resistance and the cover-up to get to that point. So, we'll see if that happens. We don't know all the people that attended the skiff, but John Greenwald is saying that he believes one of them was the Honorable Robert P. Storch, Department of Defense Inspector General. Very interesting. So there's a line of people going up the stairs to the David Grush Light skiff. And here's Mike Colangelo talking about an article from the Daily Mail. FBI agents visit scientists building a flying saucer at Falcon Space Lab in New Jersey and reveal they are part of X-Files-like government UFO investigation. The FBI agents were part of an X-Files-like government UFO investigation. Mark Sokol, 35, told Daily Mail that FBI agents showed up at his New Jersey lab last Friday and revealed they had been tasked with investigating UFOs. Now that's really interesting and juicy. However, would they actually reveal that? I mean, would they? Would they? I don't know. And if they did, was that misdirection? Was that a lie? I don't know. I mean, these guys, they're not exactly super transparent, so that's weird. The scientist, the founder of Falcon Space Lab in Hawthorne, said the feds told them they had received a tip about enriched uranium being used at the site. CCTV shared with Daily Mail shows the two FBI agents flashing their badges and interviewing the inventor, as well as pacing outside with a Geiger counter. Sokol said the more senior of the two agents told him they had been tasked by bureau bosses with looking into UFOs, UAP. The government term, making him a kind of real-life Fox Mulder for the classic show, The X-Files. They didn't find any dangerous uranium, Sokol said, but were intrigued by the experiments going on at Falcon Space. They were attempting to use nuclear physics to make objects weightless, the first step toward building a functioning flying saucer. Okay, that's cool. I want a functioning flying saucer, so Godspeed, Mark Sokol. I hope you're successful. I think that's amazing technology, and it sounds like a lot of fun. So, but what do you guys think? Did the Men in Black show up? Was it the FBI? Are the FBI the Men in Black? I have some personal involvement with that based on some cattle mutilation investigations my UFO group was doing. And the cover-up is real, and the FBI is part of it. So anyway, those are, that's what's going on there. Meanwhile, a guy on Twitter, an experiencer, is sharing the alphabet of the gray aliens. This is what he says is the actual alphabet of the grays. Check that out. That is some wild looking stuff there. I don't know if that's the same. That looks a little different, but maybe that's, you can hear a cat in the background. That's some really, really intriguing writing. So I love it, and I'll let you screen grab this stuff if you want to. Yeah, I guess that's the individual letters, and that's what it looks like when it's written down. So, really fascinating stuff. So let me know what you think about this gray alien alphabet and all the other stuff I've talked about today in the comments below. And if you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, or you can become a channel member, see the first link in the description below. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you so much. Meanwhile, there are plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with the Cosmic Road, signing out.